Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you.
Hey guys, my name is Nick Gamertsfelder. This is Stud Sand Beach. I've been doing it for about 8 years. Affiliation with Brickworld. I'm actually their Make-A-Wish ambassador. I help grant wishes through them. I've actually done 3 wishes for Brickworld. So this is a display that's been growing for about 8 years now, and I could go bigger, but I don't want to. I want detail. I want density. The kids love it because I drop the tables down low. They get a really good view of it, so they're not climbing over the tables trying to see everything. I don't want to have any voids. There's about 1,000 minifigs on here alone, and a lot of movement, a lot of interaction for the kids. My voice usually goes hoarse by the end of day one because I'm talking to everybody. I'm never really gone from the display.
I love that so much, though. I think that element of interacting with the public, it just pulls people in so much and really helps inspire, especially the kids, to check out and see what is possible with LEGO and take those ideas home and work with them.
That's all what it's all about. It's about inspiration. I mean, the kids come here, they see something cool, and they can go home and they get ideas, and they can be the next master builders, So, I just really like to do elevation changes. I start off with the water, transitions up to the beach, then transitions up to the boardwalk areas, then up to street level, and then it goes up to the train level from there, and then actually goes up to the ride levels that are a little bit higher. It really draws people in, the interaction, the movement, and it just flows upwards, and it really draws people into the display.
Movement can be a very tricky thing with LEGO, and you've got so many different parts of it here. So how do you sort of approach planning this layout and making sure that everything has the correct motors and you've got, the power running to everything?
Well, I'll show you guys here in a little bit. There's actually behind the display underneath my LEGO sign is a 9-volt power functions, and the wires propagate out through the entire display and are driving everything. The only thing that's battery powered is the train, the white train going through the display right now. Everything else is hardwired. So it saves me on the battery, saves me on the times, and it does. It takes a lot of engineering, a lot of design. And I actually do have a blueprint which shows where everything goes because, when you're talking 9 base plates by 15 base plates long, that's a lot of base plates. So on the bottom of every one is a sticker with an alphanumeric which tells me where it goes. So it's a great build, and it just keeps on growing every year, and I just keep adding more and more. The Dust Devil in the middle is new this year. There's a tree house that's up behind it a little bit. That's new this year. The Fisherman's Shack down here in the front's new. I mean, it just grows.
That Dust Devil is really flying there. So what is keeping that thing from flying off the track, and how did you experiment with the speeds on that?
You know what? I just cranked it up, honestly. It's going pretty good. It's the old 9-volt track system, and that's something, a Maka that I designed this year. And I just needed more. I want something else in the middle of the display, and that kind of just, as I said, draws people's views up and into the display, and they see all the little details and all the little nuances that's going on here.
You've got a similar idea with the Cyclone there, so is that kind of a recolor of that, or what are the differences between those two?
So the Cyclone was actually my first one, and I got that going, and I just knew it was reliable for these shows. When you're running something for 8 hours a day, you need something that's going to be steady and just run for a long period of time.
That's such a pro tip for anyone coming to display. If you're thinking about displaying a build at a show with movement or lights or anything, that reliability, something you've really got to think about, testing it out and making sure that you're not going to have to stand there and fix it constantly all day.
Yeah, you learn little tricks of the trade, and that's what the LEGO community is all about. It's not just like, what can you do, but you talk to the veterans, you talk to people who have been here displaying for 8, 10 odd years. They know what works and what doesn't. For these longevity, for the shows like this, leverage that LEGO community, understand where they come from and how they can support you, and you could be the next builder out here displaying for Brickworld.
And you mentioned kind of the boardwalk area here, so what are some of the details in there? I love the variations in color that you've incorporated.
Well, that's something I'm really known for, is my tile work. I try to do different things, and the kids love it because it's not just like a flat area. It's something that actually has colors, has patterns, and it just shows the overall flow of the different colors going out through it, and the kids just love it because there's so much to see. I mean, even my palm trees, each one of those is that's a mock. That's something I designed. Every top of every palm tree is 78 pieces alone. Sitting here on the table is well over 250,000 pieces. And I mean, it's a lot of fun to see the kids' reaction. And I've had people come back year after year and like, oh, you're here again. I love your show. I love your display. It's the one we always try to see every year. And that's what it really drives me, is because I love to see those people come back and say, and they can tell their friends, and that's how Brickworld continues to grow.
Absolutely. As we move further into the display here, you've got this large sort of glass pavilion. So what are the construction techniques and pieces in this section?
Well, a lot of my larger structures, you'll actually see in the substructure is actually railroad track. So there's actually a straight track through that, which is providing the trusses to hold that together. So that'll lift off as one whole unit. And on the edges of it are actually lineal pieces using brackets that sandwiches that all together so it won't come apart. So it's very, very strong. And I built that many, many years ago. Similar technique is actually incorporated over here in the purple and white building. And that's, again, uses railroad track in the trusses. And that's extremely strong. You can pick it up as one unit, wheel it around. It's not going to break on you. Additional railroad track techniques, there's actually my lavender building that you see behind that. That's curved railroad track. So that's actually elliptical in shape. It's curved. And that's very hard to do. It's a very technical build. So it's curved on the top and curved like a football round. And it uses these little 1x2 lavender pieces, which I got like 5,000 of them at one point. And it just allows a gentle turn to follow the curvature of that curved railroad track for that type of build.
I love that, and that type of idea is what makes your layout feel so organic and fun, is it's not just a lot of square buildings. Your colors are really unique, the shapes are really unique. You even displayed, is it the dino skeletons in there?
Dinosaurs inside of there, yeah. That's a little Easter egg that some people see and some people don't, you know. It depends on how long you stand here and how much you look, and you'll start seeing all these little stories that are taking place all over the display, and it's what really kids just love to see.
And the purple structure you mentioned is so unique here. How did you decide to have the soccer game going in there?
You know what? I think I got parted out one time, one of the Coliseums that was a Lego set at one point. I'm like, what am I going to do with that? And I always try to find something that has never been done before. I'd never seen a structure like that one right there. And it actually uses all these little ball and socket joints, so it all snaps together and allows me to do the curvature and the angles and stuff like that. At the very top of it, it's actually triangulated with ball and socket joints, which allows me to get my angles like that. And it's just, that was actually featured on TV last year too when I was promoting Brickworld.
Nice. You gotta show some cool stuff to get the people in the door.
Absolutely, it draws people in. You know, they get to see something they've never seen before, and as you said, get that inspiration to go out and build something for themselves.
And as we continue to make our way around here, what else do we have on kind of this corner? And we've got the tallest building, it looks like, on the layout.
Yeah, the gray building is the tallest building, but it's not the most pieces. The most pieces are the lavender. That's 16,000 pieces alone. The gray building was one I built many, many years ago, and when you're going to start building large structures like this, what I do is I do the math. I figure out, like, okay, how many pieces do I need of a certain type to build a certain floor? And from that, you can do the math and calculations, how many pieces do I actually have to build a tall skyscraper like this? So I've actually known a little bit in the Indy lug community for building these large skyscrapers like this and stuff.
And how do you decide if you'll put kind of like displays inside them or not? Is that kind of a decision as you're building, you know, what you think you'll put inside it?
Yeah, it's something I actually need to work on, is actually putting more layouts inside it. People have commented on that before, and that's something I'm going to be hopefully doing for next year. But I'll show you here in a little bit, actually, my layout of how I design and get everything spread out through it. And actually, the roller coaster's not working, so give me 1 second here.
Sometimes, you know, things just need a little help with all this movement.
See here, that's been running for many, many years, and it just needs a little encouragement every once in a while. I've had to modify it and tweak it just to keep it running over the years, and it's probably actually going to stop again here. It's running pretty slow. Maybe it'll go.
What is some of the detail you've got around the skyscrapers down here and the different elevation changes?
Well, I try to make it flow like an actual city. So right down here on the left, you've got like a little car ferry pulling up into a lower area for like loading docks, and then it shows the roadway that actually goes up as an angle right up into the cityscape. I don't want it just to be like, how do you get from here to here? It's magical. No, I actually want it to flow like a city. And that's what I try to do. And it could be something that actually exists in real life or in the Lego movie.
So we'll make our way to the far side of the display now, and we've got this other red structure we haven't talked about, and then what else is here?
Well, the red structure and the white structure to the right of it are actually some of my oldest builds, and they're very functional, and it looks like I'm missing my Superman. He must have fallen off because he was actually flying between the buildings. So that's sad that it's not going right now. But that was actually one of my original builds. It was a fishing line, few non-Lego elements, not many, but a few, and he would actually fly between the buildings, so he fell off somewhere. I'm going to figure out where he ended up. But flowing up through here, again, you got the boardwalk, you got the steps up that goes up to the train station for the train level, and that kind of feeds through the middle through this little cafe that my daughter actually built. That's a mock she designed this year. And you got the tree house, and the boardwalk goes around that to the Dust Devil ride that's in the very middle.
I love the tile work there again. With some unique colors, which again just kind of makes everything so colorful, especially contrasting with kind of the gray road elements. You need that color.
Yeah, and even on the road elements yourselves, you got the yellow, which kind of shows where the sidewalks start and stuff like that. I don't want to have something be solely, you know, gray and just kind of bland. I want to have that color. I want to have that pop that the kids really like.
Yeah. And so you mentioned you have the layout kind of blueprint over here as well. So let's kind of give a peek behind the scenes of what this looks like.
So this is actually it's done in Excel, and it actually shows me where everything goes. On the bottom of every base plate is a sticker with an alphanumeric, which it tells me where it goes in my grid. So over here to the right, where you have the rainbow house, that another mock that my daughter did, under that base plate would be a sticker with an A1 numeric, which tells me where it goes. So me being the engineer that I am, I always try to design things, because as you said, something this complex, you want it to flow, you want it to be organic, and you want to make sure it all functions correctly. So that's kind of what this allows me to do, is to design, render, understand from years of doing this how it all will flow properly. And from that, a display comes together like this that the public really seems to enjoy.
Yeah. So then once you actually get the builds to a show like Brickworld Indy, how long does this take you to set up? What is that process like?
That setup took me about 15 hours. I was here 6 hours on Thursday, and that really got my tables set up, the land masses, everything, road plates all laid out, all the wiring done, make sure everything was going to function. And then yesterday was about 9 hours, and that was just all the detail. You know, you got all the vehicles, about 1,000 minifigs on here, getting the seek and find for the kids, getting all the little details and all the little stories that the kids can discover as they go around here. And it makes it come together like this, and the public seems to love it.
Well, this is so much fun. Thank you for continuing to add to this over the years and interacting with the public and really just making a super creative Lego display that I think captures a lot of what makes Lego such a cool, unique toy. Thank you for taking us through everything here. I appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Always good to see you, buddy.